All right, so let's take a peek at what's going on so far today. We can see that we're getting a little bit of a move to the upside. A quick just rundown, I guess, on the chart because I've changed it just a little bit, um, just to see the volumes, and then I turn the volume profile the other way. If I made it so it sticks off of the volume profile, it does kind of get a little bit um, messy. I wish it could just show it on the current volume profile, but I haven't figured that out yet. But if you don't like it, let me know. We could kind of see what we can do about it. But it just gives us a little bit of insight to see these numbers. But so far today, we are one time framing up. The market opened up on a gap to the low side. Oh, I can't draw on the screen. Still here. The fuck? Whoa, it won't let me draw on here. I draw on this one, but I can't draw on this one. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't know what the deal is with that. Whatever. Anyways, so we opened up down here around the open. Obviously opened up around the open. We opened up around 82.50. The market came down and looked in down below that 527 low. You know, that's a while back. We have these two previous lows that, I mean, you could classify them as a weak low. They're in about a point of each other. So I guess technically we could classify them as a weak low. But yet they've yet to been tested. The market, like I said, opened up on a gap, rallied, didn't close its gap by about a couple of ticks. Came back down to its half back. Buyer showed up, pushed it through the gap. Now we're back up above the settle, and we're already at the value area high of yesterday's range. So now we're going to start coming into resistance. We see this 6.3 high here, and we're back to that 40 level from yesterday where the sell-off pretty much started. All right, and so this is going to be the key level. Above this level, really, it just looks like we're just going to get short covering. But I mean, this is, you know, pretty simple. We had this, you know, kind of test into the spike, which is the high of balance. We came back down to the low, tested the low of balance, and now another fade back up to the top, right? I mean, this happens to be like a, you know, 50-point fade here, but um still just balance rules. That's all we're doing here, just remaining inside of balance. And you know what? I really don't like it actually now that I'm looking at it. Um, so we're gonna have to just turn it off for now. I don't know if there's a way to just put it on the most recent profile, but I hate it with the volume on there. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll just have to get a window trader for aesthetic reasons. All right, let's get it going. Adam, good morning. Double R, good morning. Ace, good morning. Trend, good morning. Ranko, good morning. Thank you everybody for joining us on this wonderful Tuesday afternoon where the market is one time framing to the upside after filling a gap to the or after filling a gap on the open. We opened up on a gap to the downside and since have filled it to the upside. Let me just share this in here. Okay. All right, so we're starting to run into some selling, right? And remember, this is where if we look at the profile from yesterday, we have that weak reference, right? That weak reference at 41.40, and that's where that big selling came in later in the afternoon, or more absorption, right? We saw a lot of trades trade on the ask, a lot of buyers looking like they were stepping up, trying to take the market higher, got trapped, and then the market sold off, right? So very mechanical level, J, I, and FI. We're once again coming up to that and uh not exceeding it yet. So remember, the market opened up on a gap, closed the gap, and is now one time framing up, and that should just be a signal for, you know, for everybody You know, don't fight this. And then if Amazon ends up turning around, if we take a peek around the market, see the breadth has switched back to positive. We've pretty much got every sector in the green. And I want to share something with you guys. So I took a long this morning after we got back above the open. The market opened up, dipped down, and then came back up. And the reason I took that long was, I mean, among other reasons, right? There wasn't just one simple reason. But what gave me a lot of confidence is energy. So yesterday the market was weak and it was weak on energy. And we know that lately the only time that the market has been going up has been when energy has been strong. And so today we saw energy strong early on. So even though the market did get a little bit of a dip down, energy still stayed strong and actually close to the lows. XOM was hitting um, high of the day, and it might be all-time highs on XOM, but um, not sure. But it was hitting highs of the day, and so that gave me a little bit of confidence to be buying low down on that gap, right? And I knew for sure that I was, you know, mostly just fading it. Um, Ended up taking here. Let me pull up my chart so I can see where did I take it off at. Ended up taking it off at 41.26. I got out at 41.26. 41.26, 41.26, 41.26, 41.25.75, 41.25.75. I got out 5 contracts at that 41.26 level. And it was really just, you know, that above that Globex high, the market started to show weakness. I was just like, eh. And then, I mean, it showed it for a brief second. I hit flat and then it just kept going up. So just kind of who don't fight the trend today. Ooh, that would have been a good one. Morning, Tommy. Morning, Double R. Yeah, that would have been a good one. A little bit too late. Trades above 41.40 must be accepted for upside continuation. Yes, sir, I agree. So we do have another, you know, weak reference above. So there's still, you know, there's still possibility. I wish I could draw on here, but I cannot. I don't understand that. Let me close Epic Pen and open it back up because I just love drawing, and if I can't draw, what's the point? But so even if we do get accepted above that 140, there's still this weak reference up here that the market needs to go up to fix. So let's say even if the market did go up and who I got it and it fixed this weak reference, we still have this previous spike, and then that FOMC is going to act as resistance. So anywhere inside here, honestly, to me, is going to probably or possibly act as an opportunity, especially around the top of balance, as we know, for responsive selling to come in, right? And so when we're looking on a bigger scale, we know that there's responsive selling up here, right? We can even make it red if we wanted to. So we know that there's responsive selling up here in this area, and we know that there's been responsive buying down here at these lows. And so that's where we get this balance formation from. And so until we break out of this balance and hold a support, we really just want to be playing these balance rules. And the hard part about that is patience, right? Atomic Habits. Oh, it's so good, bro. So good. Yeah, I'm glad you're reading it. Trend is your friend. That's a fact. 4152 has been rejected on the daytime frame. Yeah, that has. But so what we want to be focusing on, or what the hardest part, let's get back to that. What the hardest part for most people to do is, let's say you just got on the computer and the market's right here. The trend is up, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, you know, we're probably just going to keep going up, so I can go ahead and get long. It does look like shorts are covering right here from this. This looks like shorts covering here, so there might be some opportunity over here. Um, 4 high at? D8. And the breadth is only 2 to 1. But anyway, so what I'm saying is the hardest part is being patient and waiting for that trade to come to you, right? So the next best trade from here is obviously not from here in the middle of balance. This is basically where everything's valued. The market could go down, the market could go back up, test the high or the low of balance. So this is not the opportune moment for a trade. The opportune moment is here and here. So if you're getting on the computer now, you have to realize that you're trading in a chop zone. Yeah, it's kind of annoying because this is 4068 and 4180, but we're in a 100-point balance range. And so that means if you get on the wrong time, we've got to wait for that trade to come to us. But I've been doing it since last week, just being patient, waiting for those trades to come to us, and they've worked out great. I didn't really take many trades last week. I did scalp a lot yesterday towards the end of the day, over traded, and just paid a fucking ton in commissions pretty much yesterday because I traded too many lots. But it was it was more or less because we just weren't getting any range, right? The end of the day, we just were pretty much doing nothing, and I wasn't giving the market any room, and I wasn't letting it give me any room. So that's just what kind of happens. But that's going to be the keys to be paying attention, or being patient and waiting for that trade to set up, right? And so as the trade comes up to this previous poor high, when we get to this volume block towards this spike, what you'll be looking for is either an impulse through and a hold, or you'll be looking just to see that rejection and then look to fade it back down into the mean. What'd you say? I don't see price getting above 41.52 since higher prices have brought liquidation and lower prices brings in more buying. Market seems too long with these poor highs. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, to be honest with you. You don't see it getting above 41.52. What's the significance of that 52 level? You don't mind sharing? D period opens up. What's going on here? Our timer's not working. Things all fucked up today. On the daily. Okay, let's take a peek at the daily real quick. So the key levels for me that I'm looking for on the daily, and you can see I was drawing some trend lines on some smaller charts on the cash session here yesterday. Let's just zoom into here. Obviously this lower trend line is not going to be working there. We're gonna have to draw it there. But we've been kind of just balancing, right? So my computer's starting to lag. It's annoying the shit out of me. But so this, you're talking about that 50 level, 7. I don't know. I mean, I'm really using this spike from the 6th as that resistance, and then that big update that we had on the 2nd. Or the spike from the 2nd, that's where I'll be using as resistance. This just kind of looks like an inside day, and kind of a look below, but still didn't break this previous day, and so we're still inside the range from the 2nd, and that's kind of where I think that the next opportune is going to be at is probably around 4170 to 4175. I don't know if that 4150, I mean, we could see it. You get a lot of closes here. These two 64 to 65 have been, previous levels as well. But I mean, the market is still looking like a P shape as well, just a kind of a wide P at this range, but still forming inside this weekly balance. Yeah, the balance. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about here. Yeah, this balance. Yeah, and see, so for me at this point, because of how sloppy this balance was, I'm almost disregarding it on a daily level and just focusing here, and then focusing on this monthly balance low. This 4101.75 is our monthly balance low if we jump out to the monthly. And so what I'm looking for here is to see if we're going to get that acceptance or continuation. Right? So we had the market balance lower, it looked below, came back in, and is since just kind of being up in the top. So if we get acceptance above this 4101, I think the target is definitely this 4303. If the market is able to break up out of this daily balance, right? If we don't break up out of the daily balance, then obviously, probably the downside is the way that the market will start to lean. I mean, the market's already leaning to the downside, to be honest. Just had a couple of days of support here. Weak recovery high. I agree, H. I agree. Dan, what's up, man? I'm good. Doing really good, actually. Yeah, had a nice trade this morning. Little gap fill and then some, and then just kind of chilling at this rate, flat now, and looking at this C high as a mechanical C high, and then up here at the 4140, another mechanical high, single prints to the low side, but nothing really, even though we are trending to the upside, and it does look like shorts are covering here, at least to me on my DOM, that's what it looks like. I'm just not seeing not seeing the representation of a trend day, so to speak, if that makes sense. Right, like the breadth is only 1.7 on the NYSE and 1.8 on the Nasdaq. That's not really indicative of a market that's trending this far to the upside, right? We're up 50 points for the day, but I mean only a quarter point, so. Yeah, I saw that, Dan. Good shit. I saw that this morning when I woke up, I was scrolling through all the crypto chat from overnight, and I saw that. So fucking excellent work. And it's nice because you were in that short yesterday, and you had the confidence to stick in it right after you got out of a long. That takes a lot of experience. Damn, there's a lot of selling right here. Mine just came in at the 4127. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's tough sometimes like that, like to be in a short trade and then jump into a long trade, and it's cool you actively read your Discord server. Do most people not? I don't know. I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm new to the whole online uh online thing, you know. You're short the 36 quarter. Nice. I'd like to see how the market acts at this settle. And the settle is really close to yesterday's POC, so it'll be interesting to see if some buyers step up there. Yeah, exactly. Charts don't lie. Morning, Dad. Yeah, it's that actually happened to me a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week. Something I normally don't do is get out of a trade and into the opposite trade, but last week it just happened to set up the right way. It actually happened to set up right when we were on stream too. So it's like, I'm like, don't press the reverse button. And here I am. I mean, I didn't press the reverse button, but I just got into the opposite trade pretty much right after I got out. The whole World Wide Web. I'm not used to like the. I mean, I'm pretty well versed with the internet, but I'm just not used to um like Discord uh manners, I guess, or like, or however you would say it, like, you know, what the Discord server is really supposed to be about. I don't. Yeah, the fear is actually getting fairly high with crypto. I actually had a neighbor of mine, this old lady, asked me if Bitcoin was crashing. I was like, not right now. Yeah, I'm not a huge social media. It's just like, honestly, that's the thing that I really would love to see. Like some of these bigger traders that are on YouTube and Twitter and stuff is like, you know, I wonder, um do they have a you know, like a person, like a PR person that does all their posting for them, because there's so many posts. Um you know, to post in like so many different spots and all the time and all day and stuff. It's like, it just seems like a lot of work to me. Um, Maybe it's not, and maybe I just don't know how to do it well, and that's why it seems like a lot of work. But that's why I don't really do it that much. Once the grandmas next doors are scared, yeah, exactly. And that's kind of how we were able to find the top. To be honest with you, is um is this is a while back. James's dad asked us about Bitcoin. You know, and James's dad's a little bit older, and we're like, oh shit, Bitcoin's gonna crash. Because he's like, should I buy some Bitcoin? We're like, no. When people trade off the fear and greed, I don't understand when people trade off one uh thing at all. Like I just don't understand not wanting to have a comprehensive understanding of the auction. Makes me laugh when people are oh yeah. Hey Greg, how's it going, man? New to the channel? Appreciate it, man. And if you're not in the Discord, let me know. I'll post a link and you can jump in the Discord as well. But you know, glad to have you. And that could have been a catastrophe. I forgot I set my coffee right here. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't much longer after James's dad had started asking us about Bitcoin that um Elon posted that tweet, and then we caught like the fucking move of all moves to the downside. It was nice. All right, so the market's starting to pick up a little bit of tempo here. Notice at the top, right, we kind of came down very mechanical low, but at the top, we're starting to pick up a little bit of tempo. So either here, what we're seeing is buyers starting to get aggressive, or you're looking at buyers probably what looks like take some profit here if they bought that mechanical low. Oh yeah. Well, I remember, I remember when Bitcoin came down from 53,000 to like 40,000, and then it bounced like 2 seconds, and then every big crypto person was like, you gotta buy it. They're buying it. I put, well, one crypto enthusiast said, I actually starting a pretty big position in Bitcoin right now, even though he said he's selling in May and going away. This is a couple of years. This is last year, but um, and then you know, crypto just took a fat shit again after that. I think it was people getting out of their trade up there. You know what I mean? Probably getting ready to go to lunch. They're like, let me just get the fuck out. I need some lunch money. Right. I agree. This too. You know, that's the big thing is like everyone wants to predict what's happening instead of just being patient and, letting it happen. There's no need. Like, if you think the market's going to go up, right? Is this an opportune time to buy the market at this spot at 41.34 quarter? No, right? Because we know that the market could come down. We have weak structure below us. We're in the center of a balance zone. So not really a huge um opportune moment to just be getting long, right? Could the market go straight up from here? Yeah. But is there better opportunities to get into a long position from different levels? Yeah. But what do you have to do? Patience and wait for those levels to actually come. That's the issue. Um, so it's a combination of three things. And I was actually telling my dad this, and then I'm actually going through um the the uh the new class that we're working on. I know the boot camp is not released yet, but got a lot of shit going on. But so basically, the way that the new course is going to be set up, and the new course will be more of an advanced course. So the basic course will come out, and then everyone jump on that, get a refresher. Um, Probably I post most in the general chat and the ES chat. I don't trade crypto a ton. Um, but either of those, crypto, ES, or general chat, Greg. But basically, so the way that I'm thinking about this next course, let's watch to see if these buyers step up right here. The buying looks pretty light though, if I'm being honest. And it looks like we're getting a little bit of confidence from these sellers. You're starting to see some sellers move down, it looks like. So what we'll watch for here, we're going to watch that 38 level. If we pop that 38 level and you see aggressive buying above that 38, then we'll pretty much know for certain that the 40 level is going to go. If not, and we keep seeing these sellers move down, right? They were sitting on the 40, they moved down to the 38, they actually moved down to the 36 most recently, and now we're going to see if they're going to keep following price lower. And that could be a signal of short-term time frame traders trying to sell the half back, right? So if we get above this 37 quarter, you've got this 40 level, and honestly don't think it's going to hold. I think we're uh probably just pop through it, but we've got to break above that 38, and then the next level up after that 40 that we'll probably look for is right inside here where you see kind of these this weak structure that would benefit from being repaired, I imagine. But anyway, so there's three courses that are going to be compiled into one course, and you'll take the courses differently, because I believe that you need to be an expert at all three of these things in order to sustain trading long term, right? And this is just anecdotally based off of my own experience, right? So it might not translate perfectly um, for everybody, but this is the best way that I can explain what's made me successful, and so I want to share it. But basically, there's three components of a trader, or what I call a risk manager, that you need to be an expert in order to be successful. The first one being, and probably the most important, depending upon each individual, is going to be your trade psychology, right? I'm going to give a bunch of tips on how to improve that, a bunch of key reading, a bunch of in the moment things to reset your psychology, right? There's going to be a lot of information, but this is going to be something that you're going to need to master, your psychology, your mental edge, right? The next thing is going to be your analyzing of the market, right? You're going to have to become a master at analyzing the market. And it's less important than your mental edge, because your mental edge is going to be the things that manage risk and take profit, right? Which some seem to be the two hardest things people deal with. And then the third thing is to actually trade, right? The third class will actually to be how to trade, or to trade. And this is going to be interesting culmination of courses to put together, because I do think it is possible to be a great analyzer of the market and not be a good trader. Um, and most of the time, the disconnect is that mental edge. And so, what I've done is I've broken it down into three subtopics, and then it'll be three individual things, and then a culminating event that will kind of bring them all together. But what I did, or what I'm doing, is dividing them into these three categories to give you the opportunity to master them all at different times, right? Because what happens is these are three things: you need to be able to analyze the market, you need to have good psychology, and you need to know how to trade, to be successful. But what happens is you try to learn them all at the same time when they're literally three different skills, and that can be difficult, right? Think about a professional baseball player. When professional baseball players are learning to play baseball, right? Well, there's a hitting coach, a pitching coach, a batting, or hitting coach, pitching coach, fielding coach. There's all these different coaches to help you master all the individual tasks that culminate in the game of baseball. Well, it's the same way in trading, but what happens in trading is nobody really I mean, people say it all the time, but nobody really takes the path to do that. Good morning, Patrick. They all just, they're like, oh, this is what I've done, and this is it. But it's like, you have to break it down where you do it individually, and you have to do the three things individually. And so that's why I've always said, when you first start trading futures, anytime that I've trained up somebody personally, they have been on a sim, or on a a screen with no keyboard or mouse for close to 6 months. You know what I mean? For the most part, of just watching. And then after that, then they start to introduce some analyzing. 6 months of analyzing. Okay, is your analysis going right? Right? And these are things that you can do with your regular job, because when you're just watching the market and analyzing the market, right, you're maybe writing down some trades or some ranges on a piece of paper. You have less attachment to the market. And so then when you add that trading aspect that brings those emotions and brings all your analyzations together and crosswires them and makes them hard to see, which is why oftentimes you hear people say, my trade plan worked out perfectly, I just didn't follow it. Well, that's because when you culminate all of these things, you don't know how to separate them or compartmentalize them, right? And this is something that I've always talked about, how these emotions that you feel in trading don't go away, right? They don't just dissipate, they're still there. So you can't learn how to not have these emotions. You just have to learn how to understand these emotions, and that comes with self-understanding, most times. And so, you know, I just think that's kind of my next, that's my next plan. I don't know how long until that becomes done, right? Um, but that is what I'm focused on next, after I get done moving and all that. Naturally, I got a lot of shit going on still. Ooh, so much messages. Let's see. Let's get back here. Bro, my first crypto was 30K of XRP. Held it down to 40 from a 30 buy. Had no experience in the market. Could have put that money later anywhere else. Yeah, definitely could have. That started my obsession with trading. Get an alert and decide what price will do short term. No sense in trying to make 5K moves in BTC every day. Dude, I've been saying that forever. Everyone's like, that's not enough. I'm like, it's plenty. It just adds up. That's a thing. You know what I mean? Like, you got to learn how to make $1 before you make $2. That's how life is. You know. So coming back to that Globex high here, and then towards the settle and the point of control from yesterday. So this may trip up a lot of people. Let's say if we get some buying here right around the settle. This is kind of interesting because it's right next to the point of control from yesterday. And so we could see a strong reaction there, and still it might not be as mechanical of a level as we would assume. The volume is starting to slow here a little bit. What channel in the Discord? Oh, you already got that one. Have your plan before you start trading. Reacting to the market as it's happening is your primary method. What the market wants you to do. Figure they'd at least have some response off of it. Surprised me. Morning high sell off the rest of the week. Kind of the trend this year. Psychology is 80%, definitely. Yeah, you can understand price action and still lose on the regular because of where you get into the market. Yeah, this rejection could cause us to break the lows. If we get much below the settle and fill these single prints, we'll really be looking for that cessation of one time framing. But I'm looking for this reaction here off of this 20 to 18 level to see if buyers are going to step up. Yeah, I've actually said that exact similar, not exact, but similar. You know, you go for singles, um, and you'll be a little bit more successful long term. You know, for me at least, like, you know, one thing I've always done is just tried to get on base, right? Yeah, we should see a decent response at this 19. You know, if you can get on base, you can score, right? But if you can't get on base because you're trying to hit a home run all the time, you'll never be able to score. And that's the thing is like, um, you know, the trouble, I guess, is everyone just wants to score now. You know, everyone's like, I'm ready to quit my fucking job and just do this full time. When it just, you know, unfortunately, that's just not how it works. And especially what happens is a lot of people just over leverage right in the beginning of their trading journey and lose all their money before they get a chance to really learn anything. That's the biggest issue. And that's why I've always talked about just watching paper trading and then using the micros until you build up an account, right? Like, so even if you're trading on a funded account and you have, let's say, what are these funded accounts? So like $50,000 and they give you like a $2,500 drawdown. Well, $2,500 is not enough to trade one ES contract, even though they give you access to 10 or whatever it is, it's not enough. You should have cash value in your account, $5,000 in my opinion per, especially with the volatility. You know, maybe in the summer it can get a little bit less if the volatility starts to slow, but at least 5K per contract that you're going to trade on the ES in your account. That's my rule for my account. Um, you know, to make sure that we don't get over leveraged. They made you watch 2 videos to get in here? Oh, because you're on Twitch. Yeah, I can't control those. I can't control those videos on Twitch. They just fucking shove those down your throat. You shouldn't see any videos on YouTube because I turned off all the monetization. Everyone wants to hit a home run every time they're at the plate. Yeah. And it's simply just not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Simply just not gonna happen. I mean, Mark McGwire hit a lot of home runs, but he struck out a lot too. It's different when you got that guaranteed money. But this, you know, trading or risk managing, as I call it, is a job where you can come to work and, you know, earn a negative salary if you don't manage risk properly or make some bad decisions. And, you know, it can happen to everybody, right? A losing day does not define you as a trader. If anything, anytime anyone tells me that they just never lose, I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Or I just say, oh, okay. Like, oh, this guy must be full of shit. The FOMO is real. Morning, Pop. Sounds like you could have benefited from what I was talking about. Maybe. Never know. I ramble a lot, so it could have just been bullshit too. Nonsense. Might not help you at all. but probably will. Most of what I talk about, I try to make it beneficial for everybody. Oh, refreshing my chart resets my time in sales. I did not know that. It's annoying as shit. If it weren't for referrals, every YouTube crypto would be broke. Yeah, they do make a lot of money um on those things. Yeah. Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of that. Yep, the gap is filled and value is overlapping to lower. We are one time framing to the upside, but we do have to remember to pay attention to value, right? Excuse me. So coming back down into that 19 level, this is a level I'm looking for a reaction to see if buyers are going to show up. We're getting down close to closing those single prints. If they are not able to make a stand right here in this thin volume area, which is where I'm looking, and they get down really to that C open, just kind of give up on this, and we'll look for a cessation of one time framing. If we do get that cessation of one time framing, we have to remember we're coming down to yesterday's low or close to yesterday's low, that 4107 quarter. From this 4107 quarter, really until this 4100, we do have some possible support as well, buying around these lows. Like we're getting a decent little pop. So if these buyers decide to step up or keep holding. Still short? Nice. Yeah, I think we'll see if maybe see a few buyers. If not, probably just keep heading down. And looks like E period's gonna open up. Let's see what we get. E period gets that cessation of one time framing. One tick is not really enough to do it for me. I still would consider us one time framing to the upside, but let's see what they give us. There it goes. Okay, so now we get that cessation of one time framing. We're coming right to that C open. E low looks mechanical off of that C open. See if they start to fill this volume to the downside. You are starting to see some larger bids step up here on like the 15, 13, 1250, 10 quarter, 10, 950, right? There's some bids showing up down here a little bit lower, but nothing crazy. Where is that? I'm looking to ride back to 105.25. Whatever I'm using is the matrix. This is just Sierra charts. Yeah, most people think it does look like the matrix. Oh, play too loud. Yeah, they never had two. Yeah, that is weird. They're probably jamming ads down people's throats because the market's down. So they're which is made by Microsoft, I think, right? They're probably trying to jam some shit in there. Reversal bar. So we got an E high that's mechanical and an E low that's mechanical here. Right off the settle on the high and off the C open on the low. For my intraday ES trading, do you use anything beyond the market profile, volume profile? Um, I use the DOM on the other screen, and then I use this my quad from. I mean, it's kind of different than Peter's, but this is how I have mine set up. I got the idea from Peter Resnicek to use Thinkorswim to track the tick and the volt and the advanced decline. VWAP is down here at 4110, so they could look to go back down to that 4110 here. It's kind of weak that we came down and didn't push. You're starting to see a little bit of tapering here off the low. We got 13, 620, 1,000, 1,600, 3 grand. Right, so yeah, no problem, Greg. Starting to see some buyers start lifting the offer here, but no continuation. So breaking back down below that open. Notice how slow the tempo is when we get down here. Vertical profile along the right edge. This is the last 30 minutes of time. That's what this is. So originally when I was first transitioning to Sierra chart and setting up my profile, I got a lot of information, off of Google and stuff on how to do it. And this was kind of just a happy accident where it shows me the last 30 minutes of trading instead of just the current 30 minutes. And I kind of liked it, so I just left it. And to be honest with you, I don't even know how it happened. It just did, and I just said, I like it. So big buy order just came in on the 1850, 119 lots. So let's watch that 1950 right here, the E open. So someone bought the E open on the way up. But what we want to do is we want to see if they're going to hold it, right? We're seeing some bids step up to that 18 level from that 15 that they were at and starting to, push up a little bit more. So let's see if they're going to get this continuation. Price is 3 right at the POC. Buyers are not getting much for their buying. The inventory condition seems too long. The POC, is here, I guess. You could call it here. They take it closest to the volume profile, so it's this one here. But yeah, I think inventory got a little bit too short. We got a rebound. They got a little bit too long, and now we're just back at the point of control from yesterday. So we're really working off of yesterday's value. We didn't get above yesterday's value area high. We opened up below yesterday's value area low, opened up below yesterday's low, and have since returned. And now the markets are starting to re-range inside that balance. 19 is the 4-day rolling point of control. That makes sense. Now we're starting to see an offer move down on that 1975. That's them trying to get filled. Remember that 1950 was a buyer. Now he's probably trying to fill the rest of his. Oh, he disappeared. A little scared so he could scoop up some more. This thing's gonna pop. It looks like it to me. It looks like it might pop. Bonds are coming down. Buying's coming in. They're still selling this here. It's 21-ish. Yeah, you just got. So what's happening here is what it looks like to me is that it looks like they're trying to hold price right here to gather inventory to take this thing up, to be honest. Um, what will lead us to that and what kind of keys me into that is like, look at this E low, look at the volume that came in comparatively. We bounced up off that low, 844 contracts. So there's probably some shorts trapped here. And if we get above, probably above that 25, maybe even the 23, let's say 23 to 25, here we'll get back into that thin spot, and that might be the short covering that takes us back to the this upper volume distribution area. Let's just watch here, but it does look like that's what's happening. Looking like a pop-up to me also. Yeah, at least to just maybe check out that 23, 25 level. Not the biggest pop in the world, obviously, but a decent size. If I sound far away, I'm just standing up. I gotta do some stretching. When you sit down every day for an extended period of time, if you're not doing some stretching either at your desk or after or before or both, you're doing your body a little bit of disservice, right? We're trying to be elite performers on an elite level, so we have to treat our bodies the same way. If you're filling your body with junk all the time and then trading like shit, maybe there's your problem there. Gotta feed the body the fuel that it needs to operate properly, right? You fucking put corn oil in your Mustang's gonna be like, bro, I need some 90. I need some high octane so I can get this thing pumping. Peter, thank you for the like over on Facebook. Appreciate it. Your knees are fucked? Well, you know what? You know what, Dan? Knee problem, depending upon your age, I don't know how old you are, but knee problems a lot of times can come from two things that people don't suspect, right? It can come from the hips or it can come from the ankles, right? And the hips being you could have a, maybe some type of pelvic tilt, maybe either posterior or anterior, right? Most people have a posterior pelvic tilt, which means they kind of like stick their ass out and I mean an anterior pelvic tilt, and it kind of like stick their ass out, and you get this in guys a lot because a lot of guys, when they walk around, they try to stand up as tall as they can, and so they puff out their chest. And when you puff out your chest, what you're doing is flexing your back. So if you have weak back muscles, you get that pelvic tilt, and that's what can cause a lot of these back issues. And if you have those issues, right, because everything comes from the ground up, a lot of times it starts to affect your knees. And then another thing, only 26, you're pretty young. When you are standing up and you bend down to do a squat, let's say, like, so I'm bending down right now, and a lot of people will tell you that your knees shouldn't go past your toes, right? That's just simply because they really just don't know what they're talking about. And then two, if you can't squat down and your knees can't pass your toes without your heels coming off the ground, well, it's probably your ankles, and you probably have poor ankle mobility, and so you need to stretch out those ankles. The best thing you can do for that would be like a foam roller and kind of like roll it right on the back of your ankle, right on that Achilles tendon, right, to stretch that thing out, get it moving. A lot of times, we don't use it a lot. It'll just tense up. That's what things do. And then also you have like a curb or like something that you can put the front half of your foot on, right? Put like the ball of your foot on, keep your heel on the ground, and then lean forward and stretch out those tendons and those calf muscles. So let's see if they got it. They got what they needed here to push back up above this 23-25 area. B period was a momentum buy at the top of B period. POC is unable to get higher. Inventory is likely to correct. Yeah, these buyers just can't get it going. Look how fast it's coming down now. Look at the tempo coming back down now. So watch the 15 level again. That's kind of where this 15 to 18 level is where buyers tried to step up before. So now we're in a really tight range of, basically 15 to 23, 25 area point range. The breath has since gone red. Google is down 0.5%, Amazon down 2.5%, Tesla down 0.7%, Facebook down 0.25%. So the overall market not doing great. Remember that E is looking, if it does break, to take that C low, and then we'll look to target the prior day low and the half back, which happened to be very similar areas. My guy H is the Oracle. Yeah, he's on it, that's for sure. Knees over toes, guy. Knees over toes. Yeah, a lot of people will say like you don't want to have your knees over your toes, but that just seems like I don't know, doesn't seem, I mean I'm not a physical therapist or anything, so this is not medical advice. So back up to this 15. Remember, we had a 15 to kind of 25 area. Let's see if this area acts as an opportunity for sellers to move down and initiate lower prices. We had the inventory correction. It wasn't very much, but now we're getting a second chance for sellers to move down and initiate lower prices if they're willing to do that. But I did sleep at a Holiday Inn last night. Yeah, Dad, that's right. I think you mean head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. I think you're right. There you go. Thank you for reminding me. I mean, it's a, it really is. Yeah, I know it's a TV commercial. I think you're the only people that see TV. I do take some swing positions, yeah. On the future sometimes, yeah. Go stretch your weak knees. I mean, the main thing that you should be focusing on when you're working out is mobility, flexibility, mobility, and core and back. Right? The other muscles, if you have a strong core and a strong back, the other muscles will be strong naturally, right? But if you're having, issues, let's say you're trying to increase your max deadlift or your max squat or your max bench press, but you have a weak core or weak back, um, it doesn't seem like that would be the spot that you'd want to target, right, for a bench press. But a lot of times that's really the issue. Interesting here that every time the market kind of tests down, it pops back up. So it's like shorts are getting short, then they're taking a little bit of a breath, right? So they're not really committing to get short yet. They are, that we do have some sellers definitely moving down, but they're just not getting pot committed at this point to really push the market a little bit lower. We've got pretty much every sector except for two, utilities and real estate, are red, but the breadth is red. 1.35 on the NYSE, 1.23 on the NASDAQ. The tick is down below 600. It's been kind of been pinned below the zero for the past 35 minutes. TV is for boomers, us Zoomers exclusively watch Netflix on a Chinese VPN. I was actually thinking about that. I heard that you can watch The Office on a Canadian VPN on Netflix still. I'm like, what the fuck? NBC, you pieces of shit! You took it away from America and gave it to Canada. Good thing I got the DVDs. Peter, knowing where to invest, what to invest in, who to trust, and how to make profit can be very difficult as a beginner. But when you work with the right people, the road to financial freedom becomes a lot easier. With the help of an automatic trading and mining platform that allows investors to earn up to 10 to 25% profit every 24 hours of investment without risking their capital, I can guide you through this process. Join us on Telegram. Guys, there it is. The golden ticket from Peter. 10 to 25% every 24 hours of your account. Snowcom, he's taking everything they love. I don't flat bench anymore. The sales pitch started out nice. Somebody posted on the chat, so I just had to read it. I love to get that. Yeah, it was nice. It was like, man, this guy's talking good stuff. And he's like, oh, by the way, just follow me on Telegram for $200 a month, and I'll give you a bunch of trades that I'm not taking myself. And when they don't work out, and you send me a message that says, oh, what the fuck? I'm just gonna be like, bro, not financial advice. I told you that. Interesting here. We get the ES red, the NASDAQ red, the Dow red, the Russell's green. Yeah, started out with facts. Yeah, it's like if you send me 1 Bitcoin, I'll send you 2 Bitcoins tomorrow. There was that fake Elon account that got a ton of people on Twitter, I heard. Yeah, I want to see. I mean, I'm not going to be really a believer in the upside until we get back up above the settle at least. It definitely seems like sellers are moving down. It's just they're not being as aggressive. We're starting to see, a fairly decent battle here at the 15 again. That's disinformation. Yeah. Couldn't have been a fake account. Yeah, that'd be genius. There was this that guy on YouTube, or he's on like YouTube Reels. I always see him, and he like goes up to people in nice ass cars and goes, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" Um, there was one recently when he walks up to this girl and she's in I think she was in like an AMG, and he's like, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" And she was like, "I sell feet pics." I'm like, damn, that lucrative? What a waste. My wife went to nursing school. She has been selling feet pics this whole time. Give me them too. Yeah, dude, I was dying. Yeah, she's like, "Oh, I sell feet pics." I'm like, "What the fuck?" And it was a nice AMG, bro. It was a nice one. And I'm not even a huge fan of Mercedes, to be honest. I think, Mercedes are pretty much a fat waste of money, but it was a nice one. It looked nice. It was like a flat gray color with black rims and black accessories. It looked cool. Not as cool as my fucking brand new Pathfinder, though, that's for sure. Yeah, the interesting thing is Bitcoin is detracting, I guess, or de correlating from the market lately. Imagine if she crashed her car and broke both her feet. She's fucking out of a job. Acceptance into the overnight upper distribution. Yeah, I mean, we definitely got to get that 25 is basically the overnight high, and that's kind of where I see the last straw of opportune moments for the sellers. But yeah, we are seeing volume come in right there on that 15. That's the key spot here is that 15. So above 15, we should be okay. We just got to clear that 25, but below 15, it starts to get a little bit slippery with no support under there. I mean, it literally just came down to the VWAP and it's bouncing. That's it. They brought it back down, bought it up off the VWAP. Simple, simple mechanics. Is there? So a good thing to look at that to find that is let's look at Bitcoin. January 2021. Here is I think that it's 20,000. I think most people that are super long Bitcoin or holding on Bitcoin are probably long around this 20,000, and that's kind of why I think that's where Bitcoin's going to come down to is 20K. And I think that might be a temporary low for a while. Market trying to get above the settle here. So sellers taking their opportunity around this 23 to 25 to still try to hold price down. 25 is pretty much the last straw, though. It looks like after 25, probably that's probably where the pop will come. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm wondering. It'll be interesting to see where Bitcoin settles. You know, I mean, like I said, this easily could have just been a huge over-evaluation. You know what I mean? This is just chaos. The market could come back down like 18 to 15, like you're saying, and maybe just settle around that 1815 to 20,000 level. F period's opening up here. Let's see what we get. See if they can take that E high. Really, we're looking for the 25 on the upside to get this continuation. We've got the weekly VWAP right there at 24. So we're in between the daily and the weekly VWAP on the ES. Yeah, I mean, and that's what we've got to be careful for too, Dan, is, you know, bear market rallies are nothing to scoff at, right? It's hard to hold through a bear market rally unless you're hedged. Yeah, I don't like that either. I was actually talking about that the other day. ETH is just getting, fucking beaten like a redheaded stepchild. It's no good. I don't know if you can say that if that's politically incorrect, but it's just a joke. Just a joke. That's what my dad used to say. I just beat you like a redheaded stepchild when you just fucking, beat me like 21-0 in basketball or something. Or I'll beat you like a 4-year-old in Kmart. It's funny is because I was 4-year old and took an ass whooping inside Kmart. Kid. So yeah, that's the thing. Is like L's are part of the game. Losing trades is part of the game. Like it does happen. It happens all the time. Like fuck. Last week I gave back so many points compared to like that I should have, but it happens. Still finished the week positive, really positive too, but I did lose a lot of trades. Averaged around like 70%. 30% of my trades were worthless. 70% is even good because normally I'm averaging around like 65 to 70, so being above 70, like it. I remember taking an ass whooping at Kmart one time. My mom wanted me to try on some clothes, but she wanted me to just try on the clothes like right there. She's like, "Take your shirt off, try this on." And I was like, in the middle of the store. She's like, "We're not walking all the way to the back of the store, so you could try this on. Just try it on right here." And I was like a little kid and just kind of embarrassed. And I was like, "I don't want to." She's like, "You got one fucking second." Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you're always winning every single trade, right? losing becomes abnormal to you, and you don't know what to do when it happens. And so what can happen is, especially if you get like a newer trader who starts off on a hot streak and they're just winning every trade here, left and right, up and down, and then they take a loss, that's what can wreck them. Because one of two things can happen. It can just throw their psyche, and they're just basically worthless after that, afraid, stick their toe back in the water. Or two, they just don't give it up, and they just keep holding on to it until eventually it ruins their entire account. Yep. Yeah, it is. Yeah, they're just kind of absorbing it, is what it looks like, not letting it get back up to there. Yeah, diamond handing into liquidation, exactly. It makes me a little bit suspicious because we're around that point of control, right? So you wonder if people are just trying to either get long, or if there is some selling out there trying to hold price down with these bids that, or these offers that are, slowly trying to move down to get close to the price, to hold it down in order for, a lot of people to sell. And then once they exhaust these sellers, then they'll move the market up. It's an interesting. I mean, there's no way to know for sure what they're doing until after it happens, but it is interesting to see. Back down to that 15. Breaks the 15, back down to the VWAP. Turned 3K into 40K in 4 to 5 weeks, and then gave him back. Especially in crypto. If we don't go take the E low, we might go to that E high. Yeah, I'm interested to see if they can hold it below 15. So now that the market got below 15, these sellers should move down to initiate if they want to get lower prices, to get that below the VWAP. I think a lot of people's stop loss or buy-in as well is probably just right below the VWAP. So it's going to take some initiation of selling to get down there to take that E low. And I just don't know if sellers are willing um, to initiate at these lower prices. We're seeing, you know, not really not really any like crazy size today. Not that I've seen, at least. Seen a couple big orders come in, but nothing too extreme. Still 10% less volume than yesterday. So yeah, today's one of those days where you just take your trade, get in the profit, and just be happy that you got it. Don't try to be hitting a home run today. Today's just not that day. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, if we got like um a quick move down to like the 107, shake out a bunch of weak longs, more longs will be there. The sellers will sell to these longs at 107, and then the market can go back up. BTC is fighting at the view up as well. 16 quarter had a big offer on it, moved, and now it's down to 16. So they're still showing it. A couple of them trade. These sellers are refilling down here. Like they're trying to initiate price. But if they pop up above, they need to hold it down below this 15. Want to become famous? Buy followers, primes, and viewers on mountainviewers.com. Want to become famous? Oh, dude, same spam, different name. Come on, be more creative. Give us something fun to read. How do I determine if I'm experiencing any latency in data? I would just compare it to another chart, I guess. Like current price right now is 1550, 1575, 16, 16 quarter, back to 16, 16 quarter, 1650. Do I hear 17? Do I, could jump into that, but no thanks. Everything's getting a little bit of gas here. Even bonds are getting some love. Bonds are positive too, about 0.5%. TLT's up 1.25% too. Interesting. That big offer is back down 1550 this time. Remember last time was at 16 quarter. You just see 100 fill in the 15 quarter. May have some sellers trapped on the 14 here. If this thing pops above the 1550, these sellers might be trapped and you might start to see the covering. Buyers starting to step up. They need to get it back below the 14, these sellers do. They're trying to move down. Buyers step up to fill that. Still not back below that 14. There it goes. Oh, there's a buyer on the 14. Just saw a bunch of absorption on the 14 right there. There it goes. The 107 to 15 or 105 to 109. I agree, H. Yeah. If we don't see this, if we don't see, I mean, if we don't see a crack of uh, that 25 soon, which is where that weak volume is at, give these buyers an opportunity to start initiating again and not just be responsive down here at the VWAP, then yeah, sellers might have this one in the bag. Yeah, and we might get that move down to like the 7 level. So I mean, we do have the VPOC right here at 1550. Still holding those single prints below for now. and a close would be, you know, that 7. Yellen says U.S. inflation forecast of 4.7 contained in president's budget request likely to be revised upwards. Does the stream begin at the open or before the open? Normally it starts around like 8 o'clock Pacific time because normally I got to take my kids to school. But we've been starting a little bit early because summertime. And then starting on the 14th or the 15th, let's see what day that is. Yeah, on the 15th is kind of when I start my my move to the East Coast. So I don't know how the streams will be then. We'll have to just wait and see. Depend on my capabilities of where I'm at and things like that. But once I get back to the East Coast, we'll definitely get back to the consistent stream. So we might not have a stream every single day, but the consistency will come back once I get to where I'm going. Yelling is a lying piece of shit. Hey Alexa, play Summertime by DJ Jazzy Jet. You guys are funny. So here they go. They're testing that VWAP. Let's see if these responsive sellers or responsive buyers are still here at that 110. They move. Yeah, they pushed right through that 14. So this is where they're looking to go is at 7 maybe. Let's see if they can get down there and fill their singles. 105 quarter. Oh yeah, you're saying 109.5 to 105, yeah. The Cali weather is nice. It's nice today. It's supposed to be hot this weekend, like 100 degrees. But today it's not bad. Yesterday was good. Back up to the VWAP. VWAP's at like 111, 110. That F low is right to that halfback of B and right to the halfback of the profile for the most part. Yeah, it's tough, H, right? It's tough to when you had a good trade, and I'm kind of in that same position, right? I had a nice trade on the open and just, you know, being patient and just waiting. Oh man. Yeah, I think I agree, H. You know, it seems like players aren't wanting to initiate much lower, and it makes sense. Like, you know, if you're looking at this thing on a wider scale and you're smart, you know, these sellers were initiating, but they were being patient, right? They're just taking scalps. They're selling it, selling it, selling it. It breaks lower, they sell it some more, and then they buy it back, buy it back. But they're not holding on to any of these short positions just because of where we're at, right? We're right in the center of this balance, and so it's tough, really, especially if you're thinking about players that are not understanding inventory, right? Um, you know, it they're more just trading um, direction, and when they look at the when they look at the open and they see where the market's at, the market's up. So like, oh, I'll fucking let me buy it. You know. And so I mean, if you're a seller and there's just people just begging to buy, and you get to sell at 15, and seller or buyers down here begging to buy at 10, it's like, well, shit. I mean, 5 points. Do I really want to pass that up, hoping that we're just going to keep getting lower when the tempo in the past two sessions have just been complete shit and we haven't really gone anywhere? Um, it's a tough call. Market's starting to do a little dance here called the VWAP dance, but it's Tuesday night. And, we know what kind of people are doing dances on Tuesday nights. I'm trying to get there early enough to get popcorn. You're close. You give. So H says, I give myself 4 max trades a day to minimize losses, but this auction today is filled with traders that don't know what the market is doing. Excess low before the 4110. Racist. Taco Tuesday. Yeah, shit, I've had tacos every day since Saturday because we got for the party we had like catered Mexican food, and there was just like a bunch of leftovers, so shit, tacos every night. In my DNA. Cheryl Crow. One of my friends came over this weekend and she says, you got a black cat? I said, why, are you racist? She goes, no, it's bad luck. Bad luck. Walking out together 7 plates. Oh yeah. I mean, you would have to walk out. Well, we got plenty of space. And just eat those tacos right here and chill. Yeah, there's no doubt, right? There's no doubt. Well, I think the longer the market stays in balance, Dan, I mean, there's no doubt the trend is definitely down, right? I definitely don't disagree with you there, right? Especially if we, let's just look at the daily chart here. It's pretty clear that the trend is down from just using your eyes. But what I do think is the people that are short, that are still short, as long as we continue, or not as long, but the longer we continue to stay in balance, the more nervous you get, for these shorts, you know what I mean? And so what happens is they start to buy some back. They're like, they have targets naturally, but they start to get nervous. The market starts like, oh, especially if once we start to get top to this upper balance, that's when you start to see. That's why I think above this 25, we'll start to see short covering, maybe take us up to that fifth, or well, probably up to 38 maybe, but up to this like 30, 38 level. But they get nervous trying to hold this, and that's more of on a daily level, right? So like if I'm short, let's say I'm short 1,000 contracts and I'm short 1,000 contracts on these rips on 4,500, and I tell my broker like, hey, I need to get out of these contracts. I just, I don't want to give back anymore. Because I could have sold them all down here, didn't. Now we're balancing higher, and I'm starting to get a little bit nervous as we, continue to stay in balance for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 day in a row, right? So if the market does start to get a little bit of upside, these short sellers get a little bit nervous, start to cover, and that's what causes these bounces. But I agree with, I don't think even if we do get some upside that it's going to be sustainable long term, um, until we see some changes on a geopolitical level for the market. And this kind of goes back to the whole Bitcoin thing is like things got uh they were just giving out money, you know what I mean? And they were giving out money on leverage and giving it out to fucking everybody. So you got a lot of people over leveraged and just bought the market up. And if there's nobody selling, right? If we go back to the ES, look on the daily level, right? If there's nobody selling, which is what's going on here, there's just no selling, no selling. Then we get a liquidation break. People just scoop it back up. Another liquidation break, but this time it just rebounds on short covering, and then that's when they got them. Well, if we look back in September, where the Fed sold all of their stock, this is where they started selling in September. They started selling, but who was there? Buyers. You know, um, I don't want to call them dumb money, but that's basically what it was. And we saw these low volume moves up out of that. The market started to balance on a higher level and then started to turn. And it could just be a repricing of things. Um, Something Tom Sosnoff was talking about, I don't know if it was yesterday for his last weekend or something, but he was talking about how they how a lot of stocks we're back at that 15 level, guys. Remember, this is a big level. Watch this level. Should be either a re-offer level or the buyers might step up here. um but he was talking about how they should uh do like a split on the SPY, right? Because trading the SPY when it's at 100 is a lot easier than trading the SPY when it's at 400 or 4,000 here. It's compared to 1,000, and that might be a decent idea if they're that might attract a little bit more people to buy the SPY, because if the SPY is at 100, people be more attracted to buy it. But when the SPY is at 400, it's a little bit harder to buy. Same reason that Amazon did that reverse split, or the not the reverse split, the split, because Amazon at 2 grand is a little bit less affordable to most people than it is when it's at $121 that is now. Kick up here. Seems like we become too short now. Yeah, that 15 will be telling for sure. I don't let myself short below the day's point of control. Same for longing above, not unless I'm extreme short time frame scalping. Really, that's an interesting rule. Something I'd have to look into. Yeah, I never thought about that. Above the TPOC or the VPOC? Based on RR. Yeah, I get that. The rolling 3 4 day point of control. I definitely understand that. 41.17 will make the market run. Yeah, I see that as well. Maybe get us up to that 25. Pull back 100 and apes hop in. Yeah, I don't think I mean, we don't have a lot of initiation today. Not a lot of people are willing to initiate price. 'Cause, I mean, we did see it this morning during D, but um, that was still even late momentum traders getting trapped thinking that we're going to take that C high. The absorption on this 16-15 level is similar to kind of what happened on that 40 level. And really, if the market doesn't take out this reference here at the 40, that's just so weak. So weak. Is Bitcoin gonna dump? Maybe. No idea. Dumped yesterday, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think down here at these levels, a lot of these people are pot committed. You know what I mean? Like they're just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just holding this shit forever. Bitcoin goes to 2 million, then it'll go to 2 million. If it goes to zero, then I'll be broke. You know, that's kind of their logic. You know, that worked out for Warren Buffett pretty decently. You know, if you had a nickel for every time somebody told Warren Buffett that he was an idiot for buying Coke back in the day, you'd probably have a good amount of nickels. You like the 26, Sergio? I don't know about what's today. I mean, it's got to break through. We have a lot of volume and a lot of value here. Um, but you know, I mean, definitely, there's definitely opportunity in both ways. And really, with Bitcoin being so easy to move with a little bit of news, a lot of times that's all it takes. One little key piece of news, and then they're splat. There's only two-way crypto traders exit a position and profit or liquidation. Dude, isn't that uh fairly true until you get to the trade vets? And even some of the trade vets that used to be their MO as well, I'm sure. Buyers are just struggling hard to get any momentum going. Remember, the market is very technical analysis. What's up, man? Gotta get short runner draw. Can't fold right now. Got short runner draw. Yeah. Never know, bro. That fucking river card might be the one that you need to win the World Series of Poker. Look at, back in the day, Moneymaker, that 4-5 though. um but yeah, like it was when I first came on the scene, even with Ramon, there was a lot of times when I was telling Ramon, um when as we started getting up to 50-55K, I was like, bro, you should slang, you should sell your Bitcoin. If it goes up higher, it goes up higher, but it was starting to look a little bit heavy. Yeah, just feel if it like so here's my theory is that big money is buying this dip responsibly. Um, and I based it off not just a couple of things, but a good amount of things. Can I see this? There we go. When we look at this thing zoomed out a bit, this this lower portion just left some weaker references, right? We left this poor low down at the low and then rallied off of it. So this is just showing a lack of supply or a buyer stepping up or a combination of both, which is kind of what I think that this buyer stepped up. We got a retest, but could not break that lower low and kind of double tapped it, which makes it a weak reference down here at this 38.27. But the next day, nothing, right? FOMC came out, we rallied above, and now we're balancing higher. And every time we get down to these lows, we get a good response. Every single time today, same thing, a good response. So, I think that this most recent dip was bought up by institutional money, big money. But of course, there's no way to know for sure. One thing that leads me on to that train of thought also is this right here. I forgot I zoomed in far as fuck today. So we can see, price change down a percent, but you can see the commercial positions went down, but no open interest change. And then we had commercial positions go down, but open interest went up. And that's kind of a sign, and this is on the NASDAQ, the second one, where tech's at. And if we, come over here and look at tech, it's a little bit different, but every time it gets around to this low, it gets bought up. Same thing down here, it got bought up. And you can see the two levels that I've been watching on the NASDAQ. Because when I trade the NASDAQ, I try to get into the NASDAQ and stay into the NASDAQ for a while because it's pretty trendy, and then get out once it stops the trend. Apple's starting to look to break up out of this little weak balance that it's in. But anyway, so when we're looking at this, we see that the market really didn't go anywhere, and so probably what happened is we did have some profit taking, and this is the 31st. Where's Tuesday? Tuesday was the 31st. Yeah, so here it is, Tuesday the 31st. That's when that COT report came out. So what happened is you probably had profit taking up here on Tuesday. But then without us, really getting below Tuesday's low by very much, and the NASDAQ doesn't really respect profile levels as well as the ES or the Dow, but you've seen them kind of buy this level up. So it'll be interesting to see what next week's COT data, because it'll be based off of today's trading. But at least last week it kind of looked like they didn't really do anything but take profit. So they had initially bought the dip, right? If we went 2 weeks ago, it looked like they bought the dip. We were able to catch that rally up, which was outstanding. But then we, were unable to keep going, and now we're ranging. But with the COT report coming out while we're in balance, one of my favorite COT reports, it doesn't say that they added to the short side. So that's kind of just telling me that this balance area is not an area that sellers are willing to initiate longer term shorts from. So that means that they're waiting patiently if they are going to short higher in order to be responsive, right? Or to put some shorts on at a little bit higher prices. Still about 10% less volume than the previous day. Remember, the level up here is the 25. That's kind of right where the weekly VWAP is at. Above the 25 probably takes us up to, the 30, 38 level. And this level right here, we've seen, these, really, it didn't really look like much selling until we got down to the 15. But we've just seen buyers kind of just give up here at this level, at the settle. So we can establish above the settle that FE high, right? Obviously mechanical. And then the next target up would be the 30, where that liquidity is at. But watch the 25 to get above because of that low volume nodule that we have there. 25 half or something. Yeah, if we don't pass that EFI, then it's going to give us, basically the same as that 40 did yesterday. Yeah, you can't get overly confident in any direction. Exactly. Yeah, especially not right now. And it's really, one of the reasons I like day trading is because you really never put all your eggs in one basket, or you're never um for the most part, you're not really dealing with like huge drawdowns over time, right? You're either lost today or positive today. You know, there's not really a lot of um sitting in negative positions for an extended period of time, which can happen with equities and investing and stuff like that, swing trading. A lot of swing trades spend time in the red and then eventually go green. It's all about invalidation, right? You've got to have these points that invalidate the trade that you take. If you get in a trade without these, I mean, basically you're just getting into a trade that you might as well just take that money down and put it on you know, a black or red. Double topping over the weekly VWAP would make a lot of sense if they're just selling it under the weekly VWAP, letting it come up. Apple's starting to get some green ticks here. See if everyone else is on board. Amazon really just kind of holding the market back today. There's that pop right up to the weekly VWAP. 23 to 25 was our resistance zone. So we need to get above that 25. The market really wants to get any more upside. A failure to get back above that 25 probably just bring us right back down to the 15. Oh, you're still holding that short? What an animal. What an animal. MPOC? What's, oh, the monthly PLC? I do love to see a lot of YouTube starting to use points of control and volume profiles that haven't been before. I have been noticing that, and it's good. You know, I'm not like saying like ha ha ha. I'm saying it like anyone that can grow is a person that you want to be around. It's people that have an inapt ability to think that they are correct and that they don't need to grow, that you don't want to be around. You don't want to be around those type of people. Those type of people are no good. Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you were holding the whole thing. Okay. Oof. Got me scared. I was gonna have to remote control your computer and close your position. I'm just controlling. I mean, yeah, it's it's so funny to me to not use um the information, the volume information. You know, it's right there. People obviously use it. That's how you tell something is valued, or that's how things are valued, right? By how much it's worth or how much people are buying it. So when you have people not using volume, it's just like, why not? Like, why not at least just put it on there and then just mark the peaks and valleys. You know what I mean? Like if you're not going to use the volume profile for anything and you're not looking at the numbers or anything like that, why not just mark levels like this? Oops. You know, why not? I mean, that just makes sense. You know that those are areas to look for reactions at. That's it. Yeah, 30 is the level that I'm looking to get to. Yeah, so I took a long from the 16 what's the bill here? 16 quarter and 1750. Just a two lotter, and I'm trying to look at that 28 and the 30 level as my two tick profits. Opportunities. Price advertises, time regulates, volume confirms. Opportunities. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, volume can just give you a lot of information, right? It gives you the information into the psychology of your competitors, which is why I think that, you know, really to become what I call a risk manager, you need to master three different skills, and that's, you know, one being your psychology or your mental game, two being your ability to analyze a market, and then three, development on your actual ability to trade the market. But just understanding your psychology and the psychology of the market in reality, um, you know, I think you could trade without those, even if you're not the greatest trader, as long as you're not over leveraged. Hell yeah. My dad just qualified his 150K account, took 14 days. That's it. 14 days on the MES. But we're back at that 25 level. Joe Grandville always believed that volume precedes price. How is that even possible? What does he mean? Like volume comes in and then price goes up, or I don't understand that. Nice, yeah. I think tactical. If you get a if we get a break up and those singles start to give way, because it seemed emotional, you know, like Bitcoin, Bitcoin got sold off, and the rest of the market didn't really take the beating that Bitcoin took. So, my overall feelings on Bitcoin is that It just it's 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 starting to get a lot more attention from people that didn't get big on it before, and that's just crypto in general. The interesting thing is that the information on what it does is what really holds people back. Like regular people, like, so because there's no product behind it. It's hard for people to believe in it, right? Because it's not something. I mean, yeah, you can hold it in your wallet, but it's not like you can just go to every gas station and spend it like you can all the nickels in the back of the bottom of your coin bag, and it doesn't. It doesn't. It's not like an Apple Watch where you could, if you took an Apple Watch to the pawn shop, you could probably get rid of it. So it's just a matter of acceptance. And once we start to see this wide frame acceptance, and then some of these geopolitical issues start to turn off, I think that's where we start to get a little bit more upside in the market, especially in the crypto market. But until then, you know, it's really just a battle of, how many people decide that they're believers. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing about crypto is like you never know. You draw your levels and you're like, all right, maybe a couple days we get down here and then wake up, boom, down there or up there. Like it is. YM moved 361 ticks in 37 minutes since the market opened. Oh yeah, yeah. The initial move off the open was the trade of the day for sure. Got back above that open. We never really looked back. He was famous in the 80s. I'll have to look him up. Damn, he got liquid 200K position in hot. Why though? You know what I mean? Oh yeah, we're still early. Still early. Yeah. And it will be interesting to see if the US even adopts something like crypto, because if if it becomes like, let's say it becomes like the new gold standard and we're backed by Bitcoin or whatever like that, that doesn't necessarily mean that every transaction is going to be off Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, the dollar was backed by gold, and we didn't make every transaction in gold. It was still in dollars. So um, that's kind of where I think the acceptance will come in. A lot of people think, oh, Bitcoin's going to be the national currency and everyone's going to be using Bitcoin. What Bitcoin I think will become will be just kind of like the international currency. Like if you're on vacation in a different country, everyone will be accepting Bitcoin, if if they tether it to the dollar and give it its value, or hold it that way. Um, I mean, once people start understanding the concepts of some of these other blockchains, they'll start getting in. It's just people just don't understand it. You know what I mean? And you got to think about back to, when was the first computer invented? Right? The first computer was invented in 1943. Okay. And at that time, 1943, think about that. 1943, the first computer is invented. Think about when you started using a computer all the time, right? And think about how much you use a computer now, right? You have a supercomputer in your pocket at all times. So you're talking 40, I mean, what, 60 years now, and now everyone's accepted it, as far as like, that's just the way. You know what I mean? Um, but so for to me, like, I mean, I just think it's just a matter of time. And when I say time, I mean time, not like a year or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. I mean, like it takes time. Like shit takes time. You know, 100 lot order just trade on that 27. Buyers are stepping up. Target up here is the 30 to see if we start getting a little bit of responsive selling up here in this upper volume cluster. Yeah, tactical, I agree. We're still very early. It's not hard to see where they're going. Specific timing is another thing. This too, that is, timing beats speed. Precision beats power. Conor McGregor. Regulation is heavily needed for these unregistered security. At first, it seems very FUD, but it's likely good publicity after the regulation is established. Yeah, because I mean, you have so many scam wicks, let's call them, on a lot of these cryptos. I mean, that was my big reason for switching off of Binance back in the day, because Binance was just at fucking Asia Open just wrecking my position if I had one open every single time. By doing their bullshit. And I was like, you know what? Fucking done with that. And I mean, it happened on Bybit a couple of times, but not enough for me to rage and quit. Petrodollar is powerful. That is a fact. And did you see that the US might start accepting Iran oil without a new nuclear deal? So that is pretty interesting. If you ask me. We had a naked POC at 29,162, and we came down almost to Satoshi to touch. Always fascinated with how we hit these levels so precise. The win is key. Yep, the win. And that's why we always refer back to the good old classic saying of patience gets you paid. So the market is not able to get up to that 30 level. So there's still some selling up here. And it looks to, we'll have to watch this VPOC to see if it starts to shift up. We're definitely seeing some more response from the buyers here as we see that VPOC shifted up to that 15 level here. And we're holding above it for now. I just have one lot left. I took that one off at 28 like I was talking about, and I'm still looking to run this last one up to 30. Stop loss is at 22 quarter. And the profile today, although it doesn't seem like it, right, because it's a little bit ugly, it is a representation of a P shape, right? We are seeing this P shape profile early on, which is, pretty makes good sense because we have overnight inventory 100% net short and an opportune moment for responsive buying. So what happens is market opens, runs into that responsive buyer, and then all of these weak hands from the overnight start to cover, and that's what happens here, short covering. Short covering, as we know, often leads to weakness in the market. Or not often, just can, right? Get away from some of these trap words. And I get a nasty grin. But you said often. It's like when I tell my kids, they're like, "Can we go to the park today?" I'm like, "Maybe." Or when they ask open-ended questions, they're like, "Can we go to the park?" And I go, "Oh yeah, sure." They're like, "All right, you ready?" I'm like, well, "Not today." I just said, "Yeah, we can go to the park." I'm just kidding. Tactical, are you still doing are you still streaming over there? I haven't seen you stream. I just haven't been on in the afternoon very much, so. Seems like buyers are defending the zero level on the tick here for the last 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes so far. So buyers seem to be stepping up here. H period's opening up. Let's see what we get here. These buyers going to keep showing up. The breath has switched back to green. Apple's positive 1%. Microsoft up 0.7. Google down 0.3. Amazon, like I said, the big dragger on the market today, down 2.5%. Facebook 0.2% down. Nvidia 0.2% down. So it looks like some of these semis are trying to come back to life here. Okay, he's trying to get green on the day, but still hasn't got above that close from yesterday. The market's starting to get slow during this H period. All right, I'll be right back, guys. All right, back. It's your 30-minute bar H. Here we go. What are we doing? Tell us. Up or down? The market's pretty much just kind of balancing here above the weekly VWAP, and the weekly VWAP sitting down there at 123. This 125 area was a huge area earlier for us, and now we're starting to see buyers step up, and we are starting to see a little bit of selling step down here around that 28 to 30 level, which is the level that we really need to see the market get above. It does look like that today was a bit of short covering early on. We got that P profile. So unless the market is able to take out that 40 level today, Really, I think that the upside might be over. But if we do take that 40, I imagine we'll start to see a lot of short covering. And when I'm looking at the DOM, I see a lot of take profits kind of lined up after that. Um, Me at least, it looks like above that you'll probably see a lot of short covering. You said down. Let's see if they can trap enough inventory up here to take it lower, but it does look like buyers are stepping up here. And like I said, the volume is very light today. So typically, if we're gonna see good downside, you'll start to see what's it called? Volume increase. 100 lot order trades on the 29.75 buyer. Traded on the simply because the POC. Yeah. There's that 30 level. And really, this 30 to 38 level is, the opportune moment for a seller that's wanting to get short that didn't get a chance earlier to try to get into it here. But every time we tick up, to me, what it's looking like is some of these sellers are kind of backing off and not going away, but just being patient. Thirty 75 fib is the main reason I still have any short contracts left. Down to your last two. Yeah. Time to regulate an opportunity for buyers. last week's half back. I mean, it just to me, it just looks like you just have take profits lined up all the way until that 40, and then above that 40, if sellers don't respond near that D high, you got a bunch of them, a bunch more lined up there, and you might start to see a bit of short covering. The market really isn't really indicating that as far as breadth. We're still 1.25 on the NYSE, 1.3 on the Nasdaq, but every sector is green, and we are starting to get back above the zero on the advanced decline, about 107. Yeah, the volume at 41.15 is big. Certain. Yesterday's half back, 37.75. Yeah, nice. $44.75 to 49 is a huge level. Bitcoin's going to be able to take it. I mean, this right here is sell territory. This 32 to 38 level, really this 36, right? That's me sell territory. Opportunity for um, responsive sellers to move down. But we have a mechanical level here, and this kind of seems mechanical, but we're starting to see some buyers take profit up here as well. So now we're starting to see sellers move down and just stack. Maybe a pull down to like the 25 again, and then up. See if that 30.75 flips the support. Yeah, let's see if this, yeah, like 31 to 30 flip as support. That could be a nice move up to that. Clear up that 40. Your last short and profit piece. Oh, you're not at home. But there's a lack of demand up here, but there's no supply. There's no selling going on anymore. No one's selling. There's not really a ton of new buying going on, not that I'm seeing, but there's just really no selling going on. And like I said, once we get above that 40, if the market gets above that 40, just took the D high. If we get above that 40, that's where I see a lot of short covering bound to happen. So slow and boring. And main thing I hate about Sierra, what is it? Let's see this short covering rip already. Come on, give it to us. Give the people what they want already. Why don't you go right up to like 41 and then shit back down? That'd just be the best. Seeing some selling imbalances, looking for price to probably come back down somewhere 29,800. Yeah, back. I mean, just kind of just sitting in this balance. Yeah, got this poor high right underneath of that weak reference from yesterday. Just kind of letting us know that just mechanical buyers inside of balance. That's really it. All right, Patrick. We'll see you later, man. Have a good day. $100 lot order trades on the 41.35, trades on the bid. It does look like sellers are covering shorts here, so be careful. If buyers start stepping up, you could just keep seeing the upside here. Oh my. All right, guys. I think I'm just gonna call it. I mean, we're just getting so bored, and normally when when I decide to call it, the market just starts to go. But um, just I gotta get a workout in, and it's just getting so slow. Let's see if I period can give us what we need to keep going, or if they're just gonna wrap everything back up here at the high. Um, do I per typical trading selection between crypto and S&P? I trade S&P every single day. That's my I don't know what you would call it. That's my forte, I guess, or what I'm comfortable with. But I take crypto trades when they have nice setups. Um, I prefer to trade stock. I prefer to trade futures, because all of them are through one central exchange, and I don't have to wonder if people are buying Bybit Bitcoin and then selling it on some other shit. You know, so it's a little bit easier to track, I guess. But yeah, I mean, when the I don't I don't pick favorites. You know what I mean? I'm not like, oh, it's just I trade the ES every day because that's how I make money to survive. That's how I make a living. Um, but I don't say, oh, today I'm gonna trade Bitcoin. It's just whatever the setups happen. Basically, at the end of every day, around 1 o'clock my time, Pacific time, the market will close. I'll start going through all of my charts, putting all my alerts and my levels, and then I pretty much go everywhere with my iPad, and alert comes up on my iPad. Just flip my iPad open, and then just go from there. See if there's opportunity. Remember, guys, this look on the daily could be the goal of the pros for the day. An awkward shape because there's more high impact news coming out later this week. Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah, like they just don't want to give it up. Yeah. And you could see Apple, like, I mean, obviously there's someone just holding Apple below this 150 level recently. Me. Recommendations on the exchange, it really just depends, bro. I mean, if you want to trade the ES, definitely just jump in the Discord and jump in the trade room so you can ask questions and stuff. Um, but I use Sierra charts. I like Sierra charts. I used NinjaTrader before, and I really like NinjaTrader. The only thing is, when I was running NinjaTrader, for whatever reason, it was causing a some delay on my uh, hard drive. Is basically just eating up a ton of RAM for some reason, and so then I switched to Sierra and haven't had any troubles. And that's only because I'm running like Thinkorswim, at the time NinjaTrader, fucking Streamlabs, Discord, Internet or Google Chrome, right? Like all the programs were just kind of sucking up all the data, and it would just kind of get slow. So I switched to Sierra charts and haven't really had any issues since then. I also upgraded the RAM of my computer since then too, so probably going back to NinjaTrader wouldn't have any issues. It's just I'm already comfortable on here, and then I switched to that Stage 5 brokerage, gave me really good commission rates, and so I just decided, it's fine. But there is the Apex Trader that a lot of us have done, and you get a subscription to NinjaTrader for free. It's just that it doesn't come with TPO, right? NinjaTrader is one of those platforms that makes you buy all their shit to add on. A lot of people make add-ons for it, and that's how they make money for it. So Sierra Charts is kind of an all-inclusive, but you have to pay monthly for Sierra Charts, whereas NinjaTrader, you can kind of buy their license outright, and not have to deal with any of that kind of shit, honestly. But I would definitely, if you are going to get into futures trading, download Thinkorswim, right? Even just create an account. I don't even know if you need money in it. Maybe you need money in it for live data. Sign the agreement so you get live data. Put $5 in there or whatever. They don't charge you to have it in there. That way you can get the tick and stuff like that, because I think it's really helpful. Yeah. Yeah, it was Apex. I think the link is in the description of the video for the discount, but I'm not sure. Checked. Oh no, it looks like every video just still has the Pirate Traders thing on the bottom. So I forgot to change it. Whoops. I don't really care. The minimum RAM required? What's my dad's computer has like maybe 8 RAM. Yeah. It's not much. Yeah, it was just because I was running a ton of stuff at all at the same time. And Thinkorswim just like, just tries to eat every amount of memory on your computer. So. But yeah, other than that, I think it is about that time, my friends. I'm going to go ahead and go get a workout in before it starts getting too hot. like the market wants to break out, but probably waiting for me to turn the stream off. Yeah, if you need any help, tactical, just hit me up, bro. I'll help you out. But yeah, other than that, make sure that you guys are managing risk and sticking to your trade plan. I appreciate you guys all coming to hang out, and I will catch you guys later. I don't have any affiliate links. I have an affiliate thing for the discount for like the 50% off on what's it called, Apex. But yeah, just hit me up. I'll get you everything that you need. All right, guys. We will catch you guys tomorrow. See you, Trin. See you, Adam. See you, Dan. See you, Brian.